morning, all of my students. So before jumping to the techniques related to the cryptography, we have to first understand the mathematics behind this. So the first mathematics we have to learn that is the integer arithmetic, and integer arithmetic is used to perform some actions and related operations in order to calculate certain things like the GCD, and this one integer used to involvement of modular arithmetic. That is that one that is used for the encipherment and the decipherment process. So we have to start from the basic one. So integer arithmetic is that one which we have to use a plus and related full operation. And this integer arithmetic basically creates a for the modular arithmetic. So integer arithmetic is only the basic, and real arithmetic is used as arithmetic in the cryptography. So in this section, we have to learn about the set of integers. First one. Second one is binary operations. Third one is integer division. And the fourth one is divisibility. So what is the set of integers? In the cryptography, set of integers is represented by the symbol of alphabet Z, and it basically contains all the numbers including 0, means positive number, negative number with 0. So in the form of set, it is represented as Z, curly braces, negative numbers, 0, as well as some positive numbers. So this set does not contain the finite number of elements. It is infinite set, which contains 0, positive number, and the negative number. The second one is binary operation. In the integer arithmetic, there are three types of operations are there by using the two things, that is A and B. So what are the operations? The first operation is addition, second is subtraction, and the third one is multiplication. So we have to select two integer values from the set of integers, which is nothing but the collection of positive and negative values including zeros. So
अभी ठीक है अंशिका? Okay, thank you. So one is a set of integers. So you have to select two values from there in the terms of A and B and perform the binary operations. This binary operation can be addition as well as multiplication. And after applying the addition, there is one answer value, and this answer value should belong to the same set, that is Z equal to negative values including 0 and the positive values. So C is belong to this set and A and B is also belong to this set, that is set of integers. Now the third one, that is integer division. So as we say that if we divide a by n. So then we get only two values. What are that two values? The first one is quotient, that is q, and the second one is the remainder value, that is r. Right? So in the cryptography, this relationship is explained by a equal to q into n plus r. And in the notation terms, it is represented by, if remainder equal to 0, means a is completely divided by n, and we have to represent this by a, this symbol, and a. If r is not equal to 0, means a is not divided by n, and we have to represent it by this, by using the notation this one. So उल्टा रिप्रेजेंट होता है. स्लाइड्स देख करके आप लोग कंफ्यूज मत होना. अगर a डिवाइड बाई n है, देन वी हैव टू राइट इट n एंड दिस सिंबल एंड a. ठीक है, जनरली हम ऐसे लिखते हैं, बट इन द क्रिप्टोग्राफी टर्म्स यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द थिंग्स लाइक दिस वे. Now the last one is called divisibility. So in the divisibility, there are two facts. Fact number 1 and fact number 2. Fact number 1 says that the integer having a value 1 has only one divisor. That is nothing but the itself. So we can say integer 1 has only one divisor, that is itself. Now the values other than 1, means a positive value, have at least two divisor. I am saying at least, not exactly. So at least two divisor means 1 itself and more for positive integer values. Now if I am saying that find the divisor of 15, then the divisor of 15 is 1 itself, then 3 and 5. Right? And if I say what is the divisor of 12, then you can write 1 multiplication by 3, 4, 5, 6 and 12, not in the form of multiplication. It can be written as 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12. I have to rewrite it 5 and 15. So there is a term that you already know, that is the common divisor. So the common divisor is that value that has ability to divide both of the integers. Like which value divides both of the integer 15 and 12, means the common divisors. So the common divisors are 1 and 3. So in the continuation of the same concept, what is the greatest common divisor? So the greatest common divisor is the greatest value which can divide both of the integers. So what is the greatest value in that case? The answer is 3. So in the mathematics, there is one algorithm in order to find out the greatest common divisor, that is known by you and already learned by you in the C programming. That is called the Euclidean algorithm. So in the Euclidean algorithm, we have to find the GCD between two numbers, that is GCD of A and B. Now in the algorithm point of view, if we write the algorithm in order to find out the GCD of two values by using the Euclidean algorithm, we have need certain things. The first one is R1, second one is R2, quotient, and the remainder. So in the cryptography, we have assumed the R1 value should be the maximum of A comma B, and the R2 value should be the minimum of A comma B. Right? So let me write the algorithm first, then I will explain you how to solve a particular problem by using this algo. So the value of A should append it into the R1, the value of B should append it into the R2. And we have assumed that A is greater than B. Now we have to run our pseudocode until R2 is greater than 0. Now we have to find out two values. The first one is the quotient and the second one is the remainder. So in order to find out the quotient, the formula is R1 basically divided by R2. And after the finding of the quotient, we have to find out the remainder. And the remainder value will be R1 minus Q into R2. Your R1 and R2 is given to you, na? So, and your quotient is already calculated by you. So by putting these values of R1, R2 and Q, you easily find the value of R. After calculating these two values, the third step is you have to update the value of R1 and R2. For the updation, the thing is very simple. The value of R1 becomes the value of R2 and the value of R becomes the value of R2. Right? So this is the updation. The value of R2 will be appended into the R1 and the value of calculated R will be appended into the R2. So once this condition is terminated, means R2 is equal to 0, then you will find the answer, that is GCD of A comma B. And the value of R1 will be the answer. Okay. So just let me show you one example. Suppose if I want to find out GCD of 25, 60. So in the exam, you have to just write the algo first. Then you have to create one tabular format like this one that I'm created. The first one is quotient. The second one is R1, R2 value. And the last one is remainder. You have to solve this type of problem by making the tables. Otherwise, the marks will be detected. So as I told you that the maximum of A and B should be appended the value of R1. So which one is maximum? That is 60. So 60 will become the value of R1 and 25 will become the value of R2. Now what is my step? First, we have to check R2 is greater than 0 or not. Yes, it is 0. Then we have to proceed. The first step is you have to calculate the value of quotient. That is R1 divided by R2. So divide it. So this one is 50 and the remainder is 10. So this one is called the quotient and this one is remainder. So put this value here, that is 2 and 10. Now my quotient is calculated, my remainder is also calculated. The third step is you have to update the values of R1 and R2. So just find this symbol like this. Like the value of R2 becomes the value of R1 means 25 and the value of R will become the value of R2 and 10. Again you have to find out and check that R2 is greater than 0 or not. Yes, it is greater than 0. Then calculate the value of Q. Right? So quotient is 2 and the remainder is 5. Now first step is completed, second step is completed, updation of the value again. Left direction change. So 10 will be here and 5 will be here. Now again find the quotient. Quotient is 2 and the remainder is 0. Now again the left direction change, 5 and 0. Now check the condition again. R2 is greater than 0. The condition will be false over there. In that case, we have to jump over this. That is GCD of A comma B will be the value of R1. What is the value of R1? That is 5. So that is your answer. So GCD of 25 comma 60 equal to 5. So in the exam, you have to follow dicto these steps. First, you have to write out the algorithm. Then you have to make the table and solve this problem. Now, again question for you guys. Just take the 5 minutes and solve this by using the same tabular format. So you have 5 minutes and give me the answer. I'm enabling the chat. Yes, 20 is the right answer. So the maximum value will be go towards R1 2740. The minimum will be R2 1760. Now we have to find the quotient. The quotient is R1 divided by R2. So if you divide this, you find the quotient will be 1 and the remainder will be 980. Now again the left direction change, then it will be 1760, it will be 980. Again find the quotient. The quotient will be 1 and the remainder will be 780. Left direction change, 980 and 780. So if you again divide, the quotient will be 1 and the remainder is 200. Left direction change, that is 780 and 200. Then again you have to divide, then quotient will be 3 and the remainder will be 180. Left direction change, 200 and 180. In this case, the quotient will be 1, the remainder will be 20. Left direction change, it will be 180, and here it is 20. In this case, it will be 9 and the remainder will be 0. Left direction change, 20 and 0. So now if R2 is 0, then the value of R1 will become the answer. So GCD of these two values is 20. So it is very, very simple. Again, there is one algorithm based on the same concept that is called the extended Euclidean algorithm. So it is also very, very simple. Just follow the steps, whatever I teach you. So the basic difference between the Euclidean algorithm and extended Euclidean algorithm is, in the extended Euclidean, you have to find out two more integers, that is S and T. And this S and T is used to find out the solutions of some equations. तो उसके एप्लीकेशन मैं आपको बाद में बताऊंगी, जस्ट अभी आप कंसेप्ट देखो कि ये एल्गोरिथम क्या बोलती है. So there are two versions of S, that is S1 and S2, and the values are fixed. The S1 value will be 1 and S2 value will be 0. And also there are two versions of T, that is T1 and T2. The T1 value is fixed, that is 0, and T2 is 1. Now first have a look over the algorithm. Suppose you have to find out the GCD of A comma B with value of S and T. So the same scenario, the R1 should be the maximum value of A comma B and the R2 will be the minimum value of A comma B. The value of S1 is 1, value of S2 is 0, value of T1 is 0 and value of T2 is 1. Same condition you have to apply over there in terms of while loop, that R2 is greater than 0. Now there are mandatory step. There first you have to find out the value of Q by using the same formula, that is R1 divided by R2. And after calculating the value of Q, there are three major steps you have to follow. So the first step is basically related to the updating the value of R. The second step is basically related to the updating the value of S. And the third one is related to the updating the value of T. So it will be related to R, it will be related to S, and it will be related to T. So in order to find out the value of R, the same formula you have to apply, that is R1 minus Q into R2. And you have to update the value of R1, that is R2 will become the value of R1 and R will become the value of R2. Now in the second step, you have to find out the value of S. So S will be S1 minus Q into S2. The same step, the value of S2 will be the value of S1 and value of S2 will be the value of S. The third one is updating the value of T. Same thing you have to apply. Just let me write. So once the condition is terminated, that is R2 is not equal to 0, then the answer will be GCD of A comma B will be the same, that is the value of R1. The value of S will be the value of updating S1 and the value of T will be the value of T1. Because you have to find out two more integers, S and T. So the value of S1 will be answer and the value of T1 will be the answer in that case. So by using the same technique, we have to find out the GCD of 161, 28 with value of S and T. So there are more entries as compared to the previous algorithm in the table. So the first one is quotient, then R1, R2, R, S1, S2, NS, T1, T2, and T. So the maximum is 161. So you have to append it over there. That is 28. S1 value is constant, that is 1. S2 is 0. It is 0 and it is 1. Now you have to find out the quotient and the remainder. So for find out the quotient, you have to divide 161 by 28. So the answer will be, quotient will be 5 in that case. करके ही बता देती हूँ, कुछ बच्चों को नहीं समझ में आता है. So this one is 21. Okay. So 5 is the quotient and the remainder is 21. Now what is the value of S? So there is a formula now in order to find out the 2. So find out S equal to S1 minus Q into S2. So S1 का वैल्यू है मेरा 1, Q का वैल्यू है मेरा 5 और S2 का वैल्यू है मेरा 0. So the value is 1 over there. What is the value of T? So the T will be same, T1 minus Q into T2. So T1 का वैल्यू है 0, Q का वैल्यू है 5 और T2 का वैल्यू है 1. That is minus 5. So after calculations, you have to update the values in the left direction change. Make sure you will not touch the value of Q, R, S and T because you have to calculate it manually and others will be updated by the bidirectional change. So this one and this one. Again this one and this one. Then in this case this one and this one. So it will be 28, it will be 21. R will not be updated and here it is 0. S1 value is 0, then it is 1. S will not be updated, then here it is 1 and it is minus 5. Again you have to follow the same steps, means the find out the value of Q. So इस केस में Q का वैल्यू मेरे कितना आएगा, that is 1 and the remainder is 7. Now again find out the value of S and T. So S equal to S1 minus Q into S2. S1 का वैल्यू मेरा कितना है, 0. Q का वैल्यू मेरा 1 है, S2 का वैल्यू मेरा 1 है. That is minus 1. Again the value of T, T1 minus T2 into Q. So T1 का वैल्यू मेरा है 1, T2 का वैल्यू है मेरा 5 and Q का वैल्यू है मेरा 1. So the answer is 6. Again the directional change, left directional change. So 21 and 7 over there. Here it is 1 and minus 1. Here it is minus 5 and 6. Again you have to find out the quotient. So the quotient is 3 and the remainder is 0. You have to find out the value of S and T. So कैसे करना है वो आपको पता है, तो मैं डायरेक्ट लिख देती हूँ यहाँ पे. So S का वैल्यू है यहाँ पे 4 और T का वैल्यू आया है यहाँ पे 23. Again the left directional change. So 7 will be here and 0 will be here and here will be minus 1 and it is 4 and here it is 6 and minus 23. Now the condition is terminated because the R2 is 0. R2 is not greater than 0. That's why the condition is terminated. So the GCD of that two values, that is 161 and 28, will be the value of R1. What is the value of R1? That is 7. And what is the value of S1? Sorry, S. S will be the value of S1. क्या है S1 का value अभी? That is minus 1. Okay. And what is the value of T? T will be the value of t1. So what is the value of t1? That is 6. So s will be -1 and t will be 6. That is the answer. So by using the same procedure, kindly find out the GCD of 17, 0. And also you have to find out the GCD of 0, 45 with the value of s and t. Now you have 5 minutes, you have to find out. And write the answer in the chat box. Yes, I will let you know the use of SNT in my further lectures. Basically, this SNT is used to solve some equations. So when the equations having a lot of variables, so this will be converted into the SNT. So in the further lectures, you can visualize that what is the need of the calculation of the values of SNT. Yes, Arvind, your answer is right. Okay. So I will upload one book in the Google Classroom today. The book we have to refer that is Prozon by the Pearson publisher. And this book contains a lot of exercises regarding the Euclidean GCD algorithm and extended Euclidean GCD algorithm. And these are important for the examination point of view. So my suggestion is to have a look over these examples and practice these type of questions. And also the tomorrow class will be scheduled at 10 a.m. ठीक है परमानेंटली तो हर थर्सडे आपकी जो क्लास होगी वो 10 बजे ही होगी. So this is about the integer arithmetic and the new topic is that is modular arithmetic. So I will give only the introduction today. From the tomorrow onwards, I will elaborate what is the modular arithmetic related operations. So in the integer arithmetic, as you know, we have concentrate only three binary operations: the addition, subtraction, and the multiplication. And in the integer arithmetic, we have two outputs. The first one is the quotient and the second one is the remainder. And one thing I have skipped from my mind, that this remainder should be non-negative in nature. If it is negative, then we have to make it positive by doing some addition of values. In the modular arithmetic, we have to concentrate only the one output, that is only the remainder, and in this term we have to call it, that is called residue. So there is only one output in the modular arithmetic, that is called the residue, and it is denoted by R. So there is a one set of integer which contains all the negative values, positive values, zero values, and basically we have to select one integer from it, that is a. Now your n is a positive number, and your formula for divisibility rule is a into q plus r, and there are two outputs. The first one is q and the second one is r. Here r is the non-negative. In the modular arithmetic, what we have to do, we have to select the integer value from the same set, that is the set of negative value, zero value, and the positive value. So we have to select only one integer in order to perform the modulo operation, modular arithmetic. The operation is mod. Here is also there is one n, that is the positive value, and the output should be the residue, and the condition is it should be non-negative. If it is negative, then we have to convert it into the positive value. How to convert it? अभी मैं आपको बताऊंगी थोड़ी देर में. So like if the question is, for the understanding point of view, I know these things are known by you, but for the basics, I have to tell these things. So the answer will be 2 in that case. So if the question is like minus 18 mod 14, so what should be the answer in that case? The answer is minus 4 mod 14, right? So as I told you that r should be non-negative value, but here it is a negative value, so we have to convert it into the positive value. So what is the conversion process? You have to add it by this value, means minus 4 plus 14, that is 10 will be the answer. Same, if 36 mod 12, then the residue will be 0. And if the question is minus 7 mod 10, then what will be the answer? Give in the chat. I want answer from other students also. Only the few 3 to 4 students are giving me the answer only. Yes, Shivani, the answer is 3. Good. So in the modular arithmetic, we have covered certain sections. The first is modular operator. So कैसे वो काम कर रहा है वो मैंने आपको बता दें एग्जाम्पल से, ठीक है, तो मुझे पढ़ाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। सो फ्रॉम द टुमारो ऑनवर्ड्स आई विल कवर फ्रॉम हियर, दैट इज सेट ऑफ रेसिड्यूज। ये क्या होता है रेसिड्यू, वो भी मैं आपको बताऊंगी। देन द कॉन्ग्रुएंस प्रॉपर्टी, फोर्थ वन इज ऑपरेशंस in Zn, and the fifth one is how to find out the additive and multiplicative inverses in the form of table. ठीक है, तो ये पार्ट हम कल से स्टार्ट करते हैं क्योंकि टॉपिक्स बड़े हैं। So now, yeah, the doubt session. If anyone has query, just write it on the chat. I will answer for the today's lecture. Rest of the guys can leave the meeting. Any queries? Anshika? अभी माइंड में आ रहा होगा हम ये क्यों पढ़ रहे हैं, लेकिन बाद में सब समझ में आएगा हम क्यों पढ़ रहे हैं। These are the important one mathematics behind the cryptography. That's why I have to cover it. Otherwise, you will not understand the techniques and the algorithms for the decipherment and the cipherment process. So वहाँ आपको प्रॉब्लम आएगा, इसलिए मैं अभी से कवर ये सब करा रही हूँ, बेसिक पार्ट्स ऑफ crypto. And also, the Friday's lab will not be there because only the introduction part is covered by me until that classes. So from the next Friday, I will take the lab. So in this Friday, there is no lab. जीसीडी कैलकुलेट करना आप लोग को ऑलरेडी आता है, तो मैं उस पर टाइम वेस्ट नहीं करूंगी in terms of the coding. And in the lab sessions, we will cover some blockchain part also. So it will be more interest point of view, interesting and for the technical knowledge purpose. So I think there is no doubt because there is no writing over the chat. मैम कोई सॉफ्टवेयर पहले से डाउनलोड करना है क्या, किसके लिए ऋतिक, फॉर व्हाट? नहीं, कोई सॉफ्टवेयर डाउनलोड नहीं करना। करना होगा तो मैं बता दूंगी। हाँ सिद्धार्थ, मुझे पता चल गया। एक्चुअली ये मूवी मैंने नहीं देखी, जो आप बता रहे हो वो पहले मैं देखूंगी, उसके बाद मैं रिकमेंड करूंगी। मैंने डाउनलोड कर ली है, आज ही मैं देखने वाली हूँ टाइम निकाल के, टाइम तो आज ही देखूंगी। ओके ओके ओके, थैंक यू देन। हाँ हाँ ठीक है, मैं इंग्लिश में ही देखूंगी ऋतिक, थैंक यू so much for your suggestion. So I'm leaving the meeting.